本田技研工業の創業者本田宗一郎は小さな町工場を世界的な大企業に育て上げましたが、彼は多くの名言を残しています。その中でもこれから紹介する3つの名言は、自分の目標に向かって挑戦したいと思っている人には大きな力になるのではないでしょうか。日本人は失敗を恐れすぎる傾向があります。しかし失敗を恐れて何も行動しない人は最低です。失敗は人を成長させるものだと私は思っています。失敗のない人は本当にかわいそうだと思います。私の現在の成功は過去のすべての失敗が基礎となっているのです。仕事は失敗の連続です。失敗を恐れずに挑戦する勇気を与えてくれる名言だと思いますが、いかがでしょうか。現代においてはイーロン・マスクが壮大なビジョン達成に挑戦していますが、彼の活動には世界中が注目しています。彼はこれまで多くの企業を立ち上げ成功させてきました。しかしその道のりは決して平坦ではなく、現在でも様々な困難に直面しています。乗り越えようとしている山が高ければ高いほど、ビジョンが大きければ大きいほど困難も大きくなっていきます。困難に直面した時に与えられた選択肢は、究極的には諦めるか、それとも諦めずに努力を継続するかの2つだけだと言えます。今回の動画ではイーロン・マスクが困難に直面しても決して諦めることなく、自ら実践してきた成功のための5つのルールを見ていきます。彼の言葉には重みがあり、成功のためには欠かせない条件だと言えるでしょう。この動画をご覧になって挑戦の第一歩を踏み出すためのエネルギー源にしていただければ幸いです。
I think the first is you need to work, depending upon how well you want to do, and particularly if you're starting a company, you need to work super hard. So what does super hard mean? Well, when my brother and I were starting our first company, instead of getting an apartment, we just rented a small office and we slept on the couch. And we showered at the YMCA, and we're so hard up we had just one computer. So the website was up during the day, and I was coding at night. 7 days a week, all the time. Work hard, like, I mean, every waking hour. That's the thing I would say, particularly if you're starting a company. And I mean, if you do simple math, you say like, okay, if somebody else is working 50 hours and you're working 100, you'll get twice as much done in the course of a year as the other company. The other thing I'd say is that if you're creating a company or if you're joining a company, the most important thing is to attract great people. So either join a group that's amazing that you really respect, or if you're building a company, you've got to gather great people. I mean, all a company is a group of people that have gathered together to create a product or service. And so depending upon how talented and hardworking that group is and the degree to which they're focused cohesively in a good direction, that will determine the success of the company. So do everything you can to gather great people if you're creating a company.
You got to make sure that whatever you're doing is a great product or service. It has to be really great. And I go back to what I was saying earlier, where if you're a new company, I mean, unless it's like some new industry or new market that, if it's an untapped market, then you have more ability to. The standard is lower for your product or service. But if you're entering anything where there's an existing marketplace against large entrenched competitors, then your product or service needs to be much better than theirs. It can't be a little bit better, because then you put yourself in the shoes of the consumer and they say, why would you buy it as a consumer? You're always going to buy the trusted brand unless there's a big difference. So a lot of times, entrepreneur will come up with something which is only slightly better. And it's not, it can't just be slightly better. It's got to be a lot better.
Then I'd say focus on signal over noise. A lot of companies get confused. They spend money on things that don't actually make the product better. So, for example, at Tesla, we've never spent any money on advertising. We put all of the money into R&D and manufacturing and design to try to make the car as good as possible. I think that's the way to go. So for any given company, just can keep thinking about, are these efforts that people are expending, are they resulting in a better product or service? And if they're not, stop those efforts. Don't just follow the trend. You may have heard me say that it's good to think in terms of the physics approach or first principles, which is, rather than reasoning by analogy, you boil things down to the most fundamental truths you can imagine and you reason up from there. And this is a good way to figure out if something really makes sense or if it's just what everybody else is doing. It's hard to think that way. You can't think that way about everything. It takes a lot of effort. But if you're trying to do something new, it's the best way to think, a powerful method. And then I think that the final thing I would encourage you to do is, now is the time to take risk. But as you get older, your obligations increase. So and once you have a family, you start taking risk not just for yourself, but for your family as well. It gets much harder to do things that might not work out. So now is the time to do that before you have those obligations. So I would encourage you to take risks now. Do something bold. You won't regret it.